Hello and welcome to a unusually awkward episode of Tokencast / Token Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, the friendly neighborhood Zach Sat Pearson. And today I'm joined by the long-awaited dragon who has risen. Swagging so hard he fell asleep, but he has awakened. A one swag dragon.
Yeah, so about falling asleep for like 1,000 years or so. That was probably from a case of pneumonia that I just got from this so-called booster shot that you mortals call or whatever. Yeah, it hurt like a motherfucker.
Here's the fucked up part for me. First shot, feel nothing. All my friends destroyed. I laugh. It was funny. My jeans is the bomb. Second shot, nothing happens. My arm felt a little itchy. My friends got fucked up. I laughed. My jeans the shit. They the bomb. Get my first booster. Shit you not, for almost a full minute, temperature went over 101 degrees. Fucked me up for 3 days. The hell happened?
Even perfect jeans can sit up to that.
Dude, I woke up. It was cold in my room, but I was hot and sweating to the point where I had an outline, like a chalk outline on my fucking bed sheets. Thank God for, bed liners. I don't know why people think they're only for kids. Hell nah, I'm not trying to fuck my bed up. I gotta sleep on that. I was just literally like, it looked like someone rained around me and just left that big ass outline. I was like, I'm changing these sheets, man. I was just coated in sweat. And of course, we're going to have our late comer and late bloomer, or eventual bloomer. Maybe one day he'll bloom, but no. He who loves being insulted by me and can't do shit about it because he's going to come in late. A one, chaos. So yeah. All right, let's get into those topics. What new shows, obviously, given the theme of this episode, of an anime variety, have you been getting into recently? Number two, do you think they're going to leave Attack on Titan franchise alone when it's done? They already fucking divided the final arc somehow into 3 goddamn seasons. Someone explain that shit to me. And 3, Netflix has been in talks, nothing concrete, to create a Final Fantasy show, live and animated, as well as acquiring the Power Ranger license. That is concrete, that part. What era or what character do you think they should make a show about for both of these franchises? And let me see. I'm going to add this for both of these franchises. You know, there's some listener that probably hates it when I make the shit easier to read because they just hear a pause and typing. But hey, you're not the only person listening. There's also the people participating. They need to make sure their shit's good too.
Yeah.
All right. So, Swag, why don't you start us off? Go through questions 1 through 3.
Okay, so for question 1, that's probably an easy one. There's this underrated anime on YouTube called Artist Witch. It's an anime about this young witch in training named Nina, whose duty is to grant the wishes and desires of everyone in Harajuku. And from digging inside their minds and literally showing them the errors of their ways, she not only grants them the wish that they desire, but the desire that they need, and that sort of concept. But later on in the anime, she kind of goes through like a sort of existential crisis on her powers, her abilities, and on herself. And once coming to terms with her final battle, she finally realizes that her main goal in life is to just make everyone in the world smile, whether
Oh my
whether
God.
it's by her hands
That is so tacky.
or not.
That is so anime tacky, but that does sound like a show you would like.
Yeah, totally. And they are in the works of making a season 2 with some talented music artists like Gira, who is a good Vocaloid producer. If I do say so myself, you should totally check him out.
No, I
And
shouldn't, but I'm sure other people will.
yeah, but one listen couldn't hurt, you know. So yeah, wait, it's like one anime or multiple?
Well, just for the sake of brevity, I would say don't do more than 2. So make this next one count if you got one.
Okay. And then the second and final one would obviously be the Precure franchise, specifically the latest Precure season, Delicious Party, which stars 3 girls being Yui, let's just say 3 girls
feel free to
who live
Google
in
anything
this,
if you need to pull up like accurate information.
yeah, I know, but it's just for like the sake of time, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But if you say so. Yeah, 3 girls, Yui, Lan, and Kokomi, who live in the fictional food utopia. In this fictional food utopia, where many different kinds of countries, cultures, and basically any kinds of foods you find all around world gather together to bring out the best in each other. And yeah, for some reason there's this big bad group called like the yeah, you might cringe when I say this, but
I feel like in general your anime preferences make me cringe, but I still respect you.
yeah. Yeah, the Bundoru gang.
I don't know what that means, so I'm not phased.
Yeah, of course. Who steals all the flavor from every single food in existence, from sucking up the energy from the energy fairies, who are the main source of life and flavor towards each dish. So after Yui catches witness of this, she meets up with, get this, the first ever LGBT positive character, Rosemary, who transports them into a secured battlefield, and Yui unlocks her powers and becomes Cure Precious. Now it's her duty to find the other. Stop the Bundoru gang from taking every single recipe away, the name of the fairies, and bring peace and love back into their loving town. And that's pretty much, I guess, my summary of Delicious is Party Precure for now.
Are either of them shows target demographic anybody above the age of 12?
Nah, only Precure. Our Switch is more in the teen to young adult demographic.
I shall take your word on those recommendations. All right, question 2.
Yeah, I don't really have a solid opinion on whether or not Attack on Titan should be renewed for another season since, yeah, y'all shall smite me for saying, but I haven't really been catching up with said anime.
I feel like there's a meme for this, but because we homies, I shall show you mercy and not use it. But I will say this. I mean, if your ass ain't got Hulu, no one should be expecting you to.
Yeah.
That shit is actually genuinely weird. I don't know if you know about this, but Attack on Titan is distributed on 3 different streaming places. But the only one that gets past season 1 is fucking Hulu. It's technically on Netflix. It's technically on Amazon. But where is season 2 Electric Boogaloo bullshit or season 3? All up in Hulu. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Evangelion, I understand that. Netflix legitimately just went and got the old TV show. They only got the TV show and then they got, I think, one of the old movies. But Amazon literally paid for new movies. So I get that. But this shit, man. But, you know, that being said, continue. Do you think they'll leave it alone or whatever?
Yeah, from hearing all that, I would say... Nah, I don't think they'd be leaving it alone anytime soon due to, like, you know, profit.
Blatant and cruel honesty. I appreciate that.
Blatant and cruel honesty, of course.
All right. You know, well, whenever you're ready, question 3.
Yeah, that's for like Final Fantasy and no, okay. To be frank, as much as I'd love to see like an live action adaptation of like any sort of video game out there, I just hope that Netflix, I guess in some shape or form, and I know this is like a huge stretch due to their whole portfolio and whatnot, but if they can just give like Square Enix like most of the creative control in the production process, then that would really give me enough hype to actually watch it on Netflix. And if there's one kind of Final Fantasy character I would love to see get their own main tiled series, I just have to go with Tifa. Like anyone else.
You know you got power when you can make a gay man fall in love with you. I'm just saying.
Totally.
Oh my god, how fucking epic would those kung fu fights be?
Right. It'd be chef's kiss if the execution is done right.
Alright, now what about Power Rangers?
As for Power Rangers, I'm just sad to see like the main universe come and go. It's really has been my childhood growing up watching it from Jetix and all that. And what's really funny is that
all right, I'm opening the door.
well, not really funny, but what's awesome to me is that they are planning on like a huge huge Mighty Morphin reunion, which has been said on like many different news platforms already, but like there's gonna be a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reunion special, and just to commemorate the 30th anniversary before the big finale special to end off the franchise forever, and then we just go on to the John and Twistle cinematic universe. I know it's gonna be gruesome. I know it's gonna be mature. Yeah.
Never heard of him. Who is that?
I don't know, some guy from E1, I think, who says he's gonna reboot the entire series after Dino Fury and the huge special. Yeah, I don't know much about him either, just knowing that he's the guy who's gonna reboot the whole series, and it's gonna be kinda in par with the, was it 2014 reboot movie of the Power Rangers? But yeah, hopefully he'll improve better on that than like the poor, crummy, Riverdale-ish quality of said movie. But other than that, I'm just so proud of Power Rangers as for how much they've come. I really wish Toei would just throw them a bone and give them like access to more seasons for the new generation, but as one producer puts it, some seasons are just not compatible with our demographic and audience, especially this one Sentai about Phantom Thieves and police. Specifically police, yeah. But shit, you don't have to put like, you know, a dark turn, like it can all just be friendly like in SPD, but your choice. Your show right here. But yeah, I'm just so proud of them.
That was really wholesome to walk into when I just suddenly joined.
Yeah, I know, right? Also, what's up, man?
What's up? I can't say much about Power Rangers because I grew up with the live action Power Rangers that had the really shitty but awesome CGI monsters and evil villains that they were facing off against.
Oh, you started with that?
Yeah, that was, well, I was a 2000s baby, so that was like what I grew up with. Other than that, it was mostly just cartoons.
Oh my god, that was so fucking stupid, but I'm back.
Why? What was really stupid? What'd you do?
Why the fuck
He
you
went to
phrase
get
it
some
like
food.
that? Why you phrase it like that though? Like I did something wrong.
I just
You
know.
know, we just becoming the best of besties.
No, you're not. Also, I heard everything you fucking said. Enjoy your goddamn grapes. So apparently there was a 99-cent charge at like 7 a.m. this morning. And I didn't recognize it. And I said I didn't recognize it. They locked my whole goddamn card and didn't tell me. Did I mention it was a 99-cent charge?
Wait, just like actual cents.
Yes.
Not like any dollars, just
No.
actual cents.
Yes, with taxes, 99 cents.
That is probably the most dumbest thing I think I've heard a bank do,
Bro,
other
here's
than
not that's
stock
not the
market
best part.
crashing.
When I said no in the automated text message, it didn't state that it was gonna lock my whole fucking card. So guess who ordered like $40 of food?
Oh no.
So I had to sit there and have an awkward conversation with the delivery guy while I went on the phone with my bank telling them to turn the card the fuck on.
You weren't using Uber Eats, right?
No.
Good. Because, boy, that company, a little vampiric piece of shit. They'll literally suck that card up. I wouldn't know. They literally did that to me for an entire trip to the movies. An entire trip.
I shit you not, taking a taxi in Chicago was cheaper than taking an Uber, like 5 miles away.
Oh yeah, they're in a competition, but people don't realize it because, don't get me wrong, taxis' biggest problem is that their advertisement is word of mouth based. That's their biggest issue. Oh, and that you have to call a number, but now they got an app, but it don't mean nothing if people don't know about your business. Okay,
oh no, I didn't have to call a number. I just did old timey wave down a taxi. I got in and then I told him where I wanted to go, and he was like, "All right." We got there and he was like, "All right, that's gonna be like $2.50." And I was like, "But we traveled like 7 miles. What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, no, it's just $2.50." And I was like, "Okay."
So here's what Lyft and Uber don't tell you, but you'll know if you're a driver. Their prices are determined based on frequency and time of day. So if you going somewhere at 3 a.m. downtown, shit gonna be cheap because you the only guy downtown at 3 a.m. But if you go in the middle of the day and it's a business day and there's like 50 or 60 people every minute ordering a Lyft or an Uber, oh, they gonna jack that fucking price up on your ass. But a taxi service ain't gonna do that.
Sorry, I meant to mute.
Okay, so what question are we on right now?
We were on questions. I just asked him what the scariest show was, and then I walked into him talking about Power Rangers.
All right, that being said, get started with those questions. Swag, you can officially go to push to talk, and I'm going to be on mute, and Chaos, enjoy questions 1 through 3.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So question 1, what new shows have you been getting into? Lately, I don't know. I've been watching Chicago Med as of late because people wanted me to watch that and it looked interesting. I'm kind of like meh about it. Like it's like every other medical show that exists ever. So it's kind of just whatever, something to watch in the meantime. I had watched Alice in Borderland, which I didn't realize was a manga before it was turned into a real life show. Or not show, sorry. No, yeah, it was a TV series. Alice in Borderland was actually pretty interesting. And then I went to Barnes and Noble yesterday and I saw that it was a manga and I was like, okay, that's fucking whack. But that one was pretty good. Squid Game, obviously, when it happened, it took me a while to finish it because my dad wanted to watch my reactions for it because he had already binged it. And that's about it. Other than that, I've been rewatching a lot of shit instead of watching news shows.
So you're saying your dad likes watching your suffering. He's a man of taste.
It wasn't even suffering. He was just like sitting there just curious as to how I would react to different things because I actually called, well, I guess I shouldn't say any spoilers, but I called a couple of stuff that was going on. I literally turned to my dad and I'm like, I bet you he's going to be this. And then like 2 episodes later, it's revealed. And I'm like, I told you, like, I already knew. But yeah. So question 2, do you think they're going to leave Attack on Titan franchise alone when it's done? Absolutely not. Like looking at some of the animes that have already finished and been done for so long and seeing all of the new shit that comes out for it afterwards, like even just like randomly deciding to redo the show or randomly deciding to make character A now gender swapped with character B and things like that. Like years after the show is already done, I know that franchises are just like, we could keep going off of this. Why not? Let's keep selling this shit and people are gonna buy it because they can't get anything else that they don't already have. So I think Attack on Titan has a while. Welcome to what?
The new age.
Basically, yeah. So yeah, I think with how Attack on Titan is going, I think the franchise is probably going to go on for a few more years after the show is done. And I'm sure there's going to be some random bootleg company that's going to decide to pick up and just basically bombshell everyone with their shitty versions. But like I said, once the show is over, you don't have any more of that official shit. So you got to go with the bootleg shit just so you could say like, oh yeah, I just added to the collection. Why not? Question 3. Netflix has been in talks, nothing concrete, to create a Final Fantasy show live and animated, as well as acquiring the Power Ranger license. What era or what character do you think they should make the show about for both of these franchises?
The only person in the history of the podcast that reads the questions before they say them.
I have to read them out loud because if I don't, I will not remember what I just read. If I read it out loud, I start breaking it down in my head.
The ADD is strong in this one.
Basically. See, no, I totally forgot. Hold on. But yeah, no. So I was telling Swag Dragon this, but I very long time ago watched old Power Rangers, and I could not tell you a single episode that I remember. In Final Fantasy, I have only ever slightly dabbled in Final Fantasy 14, and that was it. Like, I didn't do any storyline or any of that shit. I actually just went with my own character and just grinded the shit out of stuff that I could do. So I actually have no idea. I'm also not trusting Netflix with how they're going about their subscription services, their show services, things like that right now. Like, I would be very surprised if they did actually create a Final Fantasy show and ended up finishing it.
Supposedly it's based in 9, but to be fair, they have Final Fantasy itself as a license. But there's also, you know, franchises within the license or sub-franchises not showing the proper business or grammatical terminology. Like, for example, everybody and their mama knows Final Fantasy VII by itself is its own license and franchise.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no,
Power Rangers. That's fine.
I genuinely don't know because, like I said, the only Final Fantasy game I played was Final Fantasy 14, and I didn't even follow storyline. I was there with one of my buddies at the time, and we were just basically grinding up our characters until they were like super high leveled and we could just go anywhere without any problem. And then that was it. Then I never touched it again.
To be fair, that was kind of what I was doing at first. Oh my God. By the way, you might not like that highlight video. I was so fucking angry the first day I played. I didn't think the game sucked. And this is right when they overhauled the PlayStation or the console controller scheme. So I was actually doing decent. But it took me over 30 minutes to get my username. And I edited the shit down because I've never seen it take that long. Like,
yeah,
I was
no,
legit
it's
mad.
ridiculous. I also dropped Final Fantasy to play Guild Wars 2. That was a good game.
Well, you know, I never hold anybody to things they don't know. So, you know,
I guess there's
than a dumb one.
There's the difference between playing Final Fantasy for the actual storyline and playing Final Fantasy as your own character grinding out things.
Yeah, exactly.
From
that's
the
like
comparison
Monster Hunter at that point.
Yeah, because the comparison of playing my own character and grinding out things, I liked Guild Wars 2 a little bit better just because I felt like there was more of a storyline that I was actually following. But then I had all these side quests I could do to get my character really high leveled and then just blaze through the story ones. From what I remember when I was doing Final Fantasy 14, it was like solely focusing on side quest. Like, I felt like I didn't have much of a purpose versus Guild Wars 2. But like I said, that's just from memory and then switching between the two and being like, yeah, Guild Wars 2 is more preferred.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You play a game to have fun. If you have fun someplace else, good on you. I love Final Fantasy, but I'm not one of those bullshit gatekeepers like, no, you have to do this the exact way that I did or your shit is invalid. I don't know how you go to sleep at night, but I'm pretty sure you go to sleep at night maidenless.
That's the gamer mentality.
The gamer mentality. You got no maidens.
I like that came up though, like, because it's a lot more PG-13, but it almost hurts more if someone says you're maidenless than bitchless. But
yeah.
All right.
They say that themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, but I just feel bad for the people like who buy the clothing. I'm like, bro, let's think about this shit for a second. You running around in a maidenless hat. You're basically saying, hi, I'm a virgin, or you're making people think you're a virgin. I know you think the meme is funny, but here's what you're missing. People think you're a virgin and you're like 30 something. Do you understand that that means that quite literally you may run into a situation where you're not even so much trying to run game for a quickie. You're trying to build a relationship and she's going to think something's wrong with you, or he's going to think something wrong with you. I'm going to tell you right now from personal experience, every person I've dated that was around my age currently that was maidenless and not no sex till marriage, but literally maidenless, there was always something wrong. I just learned it late.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yes.
It is like the dating world is one of the most dynamic things. I'm stealing that meme. The dating world is one of the most dynamic things that there will ever be, because it doesn't change based on how people feel. It can change based on where you live and the era you live in. I know we all know this, but we never experienced it. But 50 years ago, bro, it was damn near illegal sometimes just to have a roommate who was a different sex. And now we're at a point where people will fuck before they even learn the person's full name, and then not be sure and be scared to ask if they're in a committed relationship or not for somebody they've been fucking weeks or months at a time. I'm not saying it's wrong, but shit confusing. I acknowledge it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things nowadays that we get away with that, like, you would have been hung like immediately in front of the entire town for what we can do nowadays.
Yeah, town lynchings wasn't that long ago. Like town lynchings, the last one that I can find a chronological record from where it was the full town, not just lynching individually, was like 1948, I think. There are people still alive from 1948. So it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. Humanity does progress. It's not a straight line. And relationships, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Poly people think they the shit or they the bombs. Like, no, sometimes you guys just have issues, or you're not actually poly. You're a sociopath and you will only date someone who you can completely control, and they're too dumb, stupid, or insecure to leave you, and you just do what you want to, and they got to take it like a bitch. I've seen it. And at the same time, I've seen people who literally just don't know how to handle being alone. They're in therapy for it, but they have like 3 boyfriends or 3 girlfriends, but they get lumped in the same category as, simps, and the female equivalent of simps do, which I guess soup would be the term. Soups, but SIWP. So I don't actually fucking know what the situation is. But it's always different for everybody. And I think that's why it makes it easier for me to date, any type of person aesthetically wise, because I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be dealing with. I know the first 3-4 dates are really the first 2-3 months. I'm dealing with a representative of your person. I'm not dealing with a real person, unlike myself. And I'm just waiting for after that 2-3 month hallmark. Okay, what am I really dealing with? But yeah, let me get into those questions, which I scrolled too high up and missed. All right, so I know it's gonna sound like the biggest cliche ever, but Spy Family, which I'm still not sure the proper way to pronounce because they spell it Spy X Family, because Japan is somehow obsessed with the letter X. So when it shows up, you don't know if it means crossover, plus, with. Apparently it can also mean with to them. So it's Spy X Family, and X can also mean bi. Like, what the fuck, man? So I believe it's only on Hulu for the time being. The show features a main character who is basically an orphan, who's like a super spy. Like, he's one of the best spies in his own organization and people love him. And he got a mission to basically surveil and infiltrate the life of some prestigious person who essentially only shows up during public events with his children that are in a closed and private setting. So he has to basically put together a fake family to enroll a kid into the family. But the other lady who he got is maidenless. And she's been maidenless her whole life, to the point where even her little brother worries about her dying alone and maidenless. I'm not even joking. But she's also an assassin with supersonic foot strength. Essentially, her feet are Tifa Lockhart. And no, they're not trying to kill each other or the same person. It's more like they don't know that each other's job is each other's job. However, she started catching feelings. But to be fair, she's been maidenless her whole life. She was always going to catch feelings. And the girl that they adopted, the orphan, bro, she has telekinesis. So she knows daddy's a spy and mommy's an assassin. But she was so bored, and also an orphan, she was like, hey, this is better than nothing. And she enjoys her life, or tries to enjoy her life. And it's hilarious. And they have some moments that genuinely shock you, not because, oh, it looks fantastic and spectacle, but you don't know when a spectacle is going to show up in each individual episode or each couple episodes. I like their format. They're not trying to appease some non-existent Saturday morning overlord gods. So they're not trying to have like 30, 40, 50 episodes in 1 year's time. They're getting like, I think 12 or 20, maybe 24. Right? And fucking, why would you do that? That is so sad.
Wait, I got a better one.
No, you don't. Fuck you. Also put memes in the pic dump section, not in the texting page.
Fuck you.
Okay, he would never fucking do that. There is an other version of him that would do that, but not regular Steve. So, anyways, yeah, and for example, one episode, he just had to play pretend with his daughter, and all the other spies in the agency were involved. So she was pretending to be a princess that needed to be rescued by a super secret spy hero. I'm not sure how that works. If everyone knows you're a spy, if you're a superhero, how does that work? But in the episode, Mommy Dearest got drunk. Now remember, Daddy doesn't know that Mom is one of the country's best assassins, right? So she starts fighting him. And it's not that drunk kung fu shit like Jackie Chan made popular. It's not drunk fu. But she is shit-faced. She is kicking him so hard that he bled after he dodged the move, and you just saw a wind gust show up. Then she starts beating him back on the defensive, right? Like he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden, she kicked a little too hard. Her heel separates from the shoe. She falls down and immediately goes to sleep. What the fuck? And it's moments like that that keep me on my toes. I feel like the writing is like akin to a good season of Lupin, and then at the same time, there are situations where, I shit you not, I just sit here and I think to myself, man, this gives me Saturday morning Toonami vibes. Why don't they make shit like this any fucking more? Right? So, let me see if I can even find the sample of that fight. Let's see, Spy X Family. Oh, by the way, the opening and ending are really good. It's basically Japanese jazz or Japanese funk jazz, if that's even a thing in Japan.
It's definitely a thing.
I'm trying to remember her name. The name of the assassin. Oh, Yor. Her name is Yor. Oh, yeah, here's the whole thing. It's only 50 seconds. She's shit-faced. But, guys, seriously, watch this video real quick. What'd I tell you?
Isn't this let me speak clearly for once. Isn't this the show where like the little girl is going to school or something?
Yes, and I just told you the whole synopsis already. You don't need to say it again.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, when I first saw that, I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then the punch through the table for the mosquito, I was just like, that man, that man got his lesson of like, hey, you probably shouldn't fuck with these people because that entire table broke for a single mosquito.
Persona 4 Platinum on the PS6. Looking so juicy right now.
I don't get the meme.
I kid you not. Yeah, you get the meme. You have to like, Yukiko from Persona 4 doing Chie's, those two are besties, kicks, flips, and all that shiz on the guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Persona 4.
Also, I posted a photo for you, Zach, and pick dump.
Yes, I saw the coronavirus shit.
No, I was talking about Captain America waking up in 2011.
Captain America waking up in 2011 and happy as ever to see black people eating at his table because he's a good fellow and racism is no joke. I don't get how that meme is funny, but moving on.
It was related to you just being like, that's not Captain America, not the new one anyways. That might have been the old one, so I put that one in for you.
Yeah, sorry, got disconnected for a sec.
All right, so yeah, moving on. Sounds weird because I know, hoes love money, and despite people thinking hoes open their legs, there's also hoes that sit on giant executive board suites. They're a slut for money. Will Attack on Titan end? Yes. The current series will eventually fucking end, no matter how hard they try to put it off, because the animation studios told them, look, the level of quality you want to maintain is hard as shit, and it's not going to be done overnight. I think what they're going to do is something we all forgot about because it was so stupid and pointless. I don't even think they translated it or localized it for North America. They're going to make up shit. And half of it's going to be trash, and the other half is going to be unrelated, or it's going to be manipulated and controlled by a studio that wants to be written directly into an anime, not be converted from a book series. Or, pay somebody to use the name to write new books and material unrelated to the author. It happens all the time, but a lot of companies learned, especially with Dragon Ball, don't do that. Do not fucking do that. GT started off as an animated only series that was not going to be a book and was not canon. But Toriyama left within like the first year of development, so he really only had time to write or plan out like 6 or 7 episodes. They always wanted more, but he said, fuck y'all. So whatever comes next, it'll probably be something that does not have the main characters and the same overarching plot. Because, not to get into too many spoilers, but as we've learned, some of the good guys have straight up snapped. Or they were planning this from the long haul. And they think they're the good guy, which is good writing, because when you make villains who think they're the good guy fighting other people who think they're the good guy, you get some good stories out of that shit. You legitimately do. So my biggest problem is I don't know who's going to live long enough to be in some future shit. And since people actually die because mortals are mortal, something anime often forgets, especially when you have a protagonist, I think that they're going to try to make it an alternate dimension, or they're going to try to have a past franchise or a franchise that goes into the future. I would love to see a military army, try to go up against like Colossal Titan. I would love to see, Ackermans and Levi swinging up to somebody with a sniper rifle or a machine gun and just shooting them while they go up the body and shit, clawing their ass like Wolverine or something. I would love to see that, but we all know how shit works. We all know how shit works. If they like it, they will whore it out. It just won't be the original characters. That's how I think about it. Now, for question 3. Let me calm my penis down first. Okay.
You have one of those? I'm a little surprised.
Hey, yo, what?
The irony of that coming out of your mouth because you wish you had one. But unfortunately, yours isn't real or organic and you're still maidenless. Moving on. All right, so, will there be a Final Fantasy show? Yes, because here's the thing people don't realize. Netflix ain't the only one pushing for that shit. They are not the only ones pushing for that shit. So the way I see it, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of, I think they might just be trying to debate creative control. For the love of God, please don't let it be Tetsuya Nomura. Please, please. I will have Chaos do anything to anybody if it means Nomura is not the fucking person who's in charge of everything. God, please don't let that man write. Don't let him breathe in the same direction as whatever Final Fantasy show we get. Please!
What's wrong with him?
I'm gonna just say 2 words. Kingdom Hearts. Get salty.
What the fuck?
That
Were you
was
being
fucking
electrocuted?
scary.
What was that shit?
That's what happens when you remind a Kingdom Hearts fan that Nomura's actually not that good at writing. It's like when you remind a nerd that they're maidenless. Anyways.
That is not the same. Let me clarify that. Like, being maidenless and witnessing Nomura's lack of writing prowess is not the same. I'm just gonna say that now.
That's too long. Next time, say delusion. Because that man is sensitive. But he is delusional. And this is coming from a guy who got his autograph and took pictures with him. Do I hate him? Hell no. But he is absolutely delusional. There are certain things that don't change and do change within the industry, especially in Japan. And one of the big hallmarks has always been old characters made by old people don't have a lot of character development. And when they get it, it's usually from somebody else. Here's a very scary fact. We all know who Samus is, right? Character from Metroid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we all know what her job is. Bounty hunter, right?
Yep.
Well, guess what? Samus' name is a fuck up from a famous soccer player's name. Pele, who's considered one of the ultimate soccer players to have ever lived, nickname is Pele. His name isn't actually Pele. So due to mistranslations of his actual name, Samus got named Samus. But I'll do you one even worse. Nintendo didn't learn what a bounty hunter was until around 2004, 2005. What? Yep, I can hear your minds exploding from here. Well, I'm gonna add that to my bank. But anyways, yeah. So apparently, they didn't have a fucking job for Samus from inception. Samus was literally titled for Nintendo as a space adventurer. So she had no money, no way of getting food, no frame of reference for anything that she does in her life. She just has a suit of armor and a cannon that was given to her by her adoptive parents. That's how far they went.
Who named her Biela?
Bro. She was only a bounty hunter because Nintendo has better localizers than they don't deserve. And then when they started doing the Metroid Prime series, which by the way, they didn't even want to do it in first person. They had to explain to Nintendo when they were trying to make bosses why they wanted her to be able to go and hunt down her bosses and get money for it or rewards for it. I was like, oh, because she's a space bounty hunter. What the fuck is that? What do you mean, what the fuck is that? That's what you said she was. And then they found out, oh no, we called her a space adventurer. Look, old people, and I want to say, I don't have the exact number, but let's just make an assumption. 50 to 70% of the Japanese video game creation industry on the international circuit, those game designers, They don't have writing degrees. Bare minimum, I can promise you 70% of them do not have any writing degrees. They'll say they hired someone to do the writing. Sometimes they do, or sometimes they do hire them, but since nobody cares what they work on, they could be doing something like side quest. And somebody else could take the fall or the credit for shit they didn't do. Nomura is like the king of fucking shit up and somehow it comes out right. I am not even remotely joking. Nomura can make your company hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars potentially. But he doesn't seem to understand how shit of a writer he is. But he'll go and hire other writers too. But those other writers have to write based on what he tells them they can and can't do. And maybe they'll make a suggestion that they may or may not approve of. That he may or may not approve of. Isn't that fucked up? The person who's in charge of the writers is the person who's the shittiest at it. And I promise you, Squaresoft / Enix is not an isolated incident. It's like that in a lot of companies over in Japan. So believe me when I tell you, I fear for my life, no matter what Final Fantasy is, if they tell me Nomura is in charge of the writing. I fear for my life. Luckily, God made chaos, so I can throw chaos into the mix. And luckily, if we time it right, she can, I don't know, sneak into his room in the middle of the night and possibly just cut out the part of his brain that controls motor functions temporarily until the show's done being written, and then put it back.
That would be frontal lobe.
There you go. Because this man, I would not trust this man with a pile of cotton balls, let alone being a head writer for an actual serialized show.
Well, you can live without a frontal lobe, so I could make it doable really easily. You just won't be able to walk for a while.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy VII novel, the one about Tifa and Aerith, you know why it's decent? Because he didn't write it. Anyways, now Power Rangers. Let me get my towel. Okay. Bruh. So, Swag, you seem to know more than I do, or you got some guesstimations, because before you got in Chaos, Swag was basically saying that now that Netflix officially has a license, Nickelodeon or whoever has them now is going to do some anniversary reunion special where they actually get like the original story, first era Power Rangers, which is like from Mighty Morphin motherfuckers to in space, all in one place for a reunion. And then after that, it's Netflix. It's Netflix and chill. Here's what I heard.
And yeah, what?
What'd you say, Swag?
No. Go ahead.
Here's what I'm thinking, or here's how I feel about it. If they go to Adi Shankar Ray, go back to Push Talk. Thank you. If they go to Adi Shankar Ray, who made the bootleg Power Ranger universe, where it was literally still the Power Rangers, but you know, death actually occurred. If they did that, bro, I'm cool with it. Because here's the thing. North American Power Rangers 30 years old. These characters need to be allowed to age. They've been aging. They have stories in between the actual stories, and we only find out in the annual crossover episodes. Raise your hand if you knew Adam, aka the second Black Ranger, aka the second Green Ranger, opened up a dojo, and Alpha the robot is one of his dojo assistants. See?
I had no idea.
How about that JJ ends up being one of the Power Rangers and he's in SPD. JJ being the first or second son of Tommy.
happened in the comics, and you know good well that happened.
Well, the comics didn't. The comics got it from the show. But
Wait, really?
yeah, because SPD was before the comics were even a thing.
Yeah, probably my memory might be a little fuzzy because I didn't recall.
Oh,
like,
and yeah, like there's so much. And also the Power Rangers we grew up with, or I'm sorry, I grew up with, and y'all discovered later. Yeah, they weren't actually the first crew. According to the comic book, there was a set before them, and they sucked. They wouldn't listen. They couldn't stay organized, and they got their ass beat from, and simultaneously also killed the Psycho Green Ranger. Yeah.
Jeez.
They also even explained in the comics why the Green Ranger's outfit keeps changing over time. The original Red Ranger, who's female by the way, yeah, she was the first person to use Tyrannosaurus Red Energy Ranger crystal shit. She used science and eventually engineered or figured out how to engineer reactivating of the Green Ranger, but the outfit didn't come 1-to-1. It had alterations to it. Also, at one point, Kimberly was a triple ranger. The only other person to do that was Jason. She had 3 colors in one. She was the pink, black, yellow ranger in the comic books for a small point in time. And that story happens directly after her character leaves the show. You even, at the end of it, she even writes the note that she mails to Tommy about breaking up with him while she was in France. If you give me an animated show, if you give me a live action show, by the way, you can do both at once, and it's got the voices and the original cast, I'm happy. If you want to do an animated reboot that's going to tell the story again, but make it look cooler because action sequences, I'm cool with that. I don't care if they do it a one-shot spin-over crossover movie where the Power Rangers from Mighty Morphin meet the Justice League. They already made a whole entire comic book era out of it. I got it. There's literally a Power Rangers meet the Justice League thing. Yeah, didn't know that shit, did you?
Absolutely
No,
not.
I did not.
And I'm gonna give you Mugs links too. Let's see, Power Rangers Justice League.
Of course, they'd made something like that.
No one can ever clap those cheeks, cause they gon' get in those thighs. So yeah, I dropped the link in Pick Dump. Goes right to it. And they would like this for like 6 months. They were just working with each other. Green Lanterns, Batman, Superman, and the Wonder Woman and the Power Rangers. The ones I grew up with.
And did they ever get their own power coins like Ryu and Chun-Li?
Okay, that shit is that was just something that they did in one show.
Yeah.
I don't know who those people are, by the way, Chaos.
One is a voice actor from Souls at Work, and the other one was the voice actor for Lupin the Third.
Oh shit, that guy's fucking loaded. Also, I believe he was one of the original translators for Power Rangers.
He might have been. I was just kind of briefly looking. Those were what I knew them from, was Lupin the Third, and then Souls at Work. She has a couple of other stuff too, but that was just the one I knew.
Yeah, Tony Oliver. He's the guy whose name Tommy Oliver is based off of. And Bryan Cranston, who y'all may know from Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle, the dad. Peep this. He started as a voice actor. He voices a bunch of monsters on the old Power Ranger shows. And Billy got his last name from Bryan Cranston. Billy's last name is Cranston. Everything's connected.
Too connected.
Hollywood is the most incestuous place you can be outside of the porn industry. Anyways. Yeah, just Load me up, goddammit. Pour me in Power Ranger power. And let me eat my Final Fantasy burger with my drink. They should make a live action and a cartoon Power Ranger show. There's already rumors of it from the month that they got the Power Rangers license. Plus, Netflix created an animation division. They need something to do. Final Fantasy, look, Final Fantasy 9 is supposed to get in a show. We don't know what type. I think Netflix is the one that's going to grab that show. But I don't know if they're going to stop there. Personally, I mean, I can't say it enough. As long as Nomura ain't fucking with it, I'm good. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Swag, you got a closing statement?
What the fuck? Okay, yeah, but for serious reasons, honestly, yeah, I'm with you 100% on like, I guess Nomura's delusions and whatnot. That really was an eye-opener for me, though. That really, I guess in my opinion, really doesn't change the fact that I still hold some attachment to the franchise regardless of whether or not he created a little happy accident from one of his atrocities. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. Also for Power Rangers, yeah, I don't really know if Viacom is gonna like air such specials, whether it's gonna be the Mighty Morphin special or the series finale special, but what I do know for like the series finale, there is said to be, yeah, I think I said it before, but like there is supposed to be like a special female ranger. I don't know if it's gonna be like the first Red Ranger that you speak of, which this new ranger is gonna be female. So after you said like there was like the first ranger was a red ranger, the first Red Ranger was female, I was thinking that may be who she is, though I'm kinda in speculation that it might be like a totally different new ranger altogether. So yeah, that's all I got for that.
Chaos, closing statement.
I am, as I ever had been, confused about a lot of things. The only thing I recognized from this was what new shows he started, and then Attack on Titan. You can really tell where my demographic lies.
Yes, in La La Land, because you have ADHD. Well,
Listen, it's not La La Land, it's just absolute nightmare.
it is chaos. Anyways, with that being said, this has been another exciting episode of Token Podcast / Token Cast, and I will see you guys after the convention we're all going to go to and probably make a montage video and put it on YouTube. So long, farewell, enjoy your lives, and try not to be chaos because he's maidenless.
No!